The issue is not just how we respond in the city of Chicago, it's the fact that we have a governor, an elected official in the state of Texas that is placing families on buses without shoes, cold, wet, tired, hungry, afraid, traumatized, and then they come to the city of Chicago where we have homelessness, we have mental health clinics that have been shut down and closed. You have people who are seeking employment. The governor of Texas needs to take a look in the mirror of the chaos that he is causing for this country. This is not just a Chicago dynamic. He is attacking our country.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. We got to talk about woke Mayor Brandon Johnson, who I'm about to start calling corrupt Mayor Brandon Johnson, because it seems like wokeness and corruption are synonymous, okay? If a politician is woke, then most likely they're corrupt, okay? The woker that the politician is, probably the more corrupt that the politician is, okay? I'm just saying. So corrupt Mayor Brandon Johnson is getting exposed because of a lawsuit against some of the private companies that are housing some of these migrants in buildings that the migrants are not supposed to be in, okay? So they are getting these leases in order to house migrants, even though they're not supposed to be housing migrants. And the city is paying these private companies in order to house and feed and take care of migrants. Now, again, these are taxpayer dollars. Now, again, the reason why we're finding out about this is not because of the transparency that was promised by the Brandon Johnson administration in Chicago that, hey, we are going to open up our books. Everybody can see where the money's going. No, that's actually not what they're doing. What happened is that it took a lawsuit against some of these private companies in order to get the information about exactly how much money was being spent, funneled to help house these illegal immigrants over the past few years. Okay, so again, this is a situation that once again shows that these people are enriching themselves with taxpayer dollars. Okay, Brandon Johnson also is the same guy that faced criticism for using his campaign funding, which again are donations for his campaign, to get $30,000 haircuts, right? A $30,000 fade, okay, for him and his whole team. And also makeup as well too. Okay, and if you criticize him, then you are attacking so-called black-owned businesses, which means you are a racist. Okay, now again, I wonder what the excuse will be for criticizing the city for essentially funneling millions of taxpayer dollars to house illegals, while also trying to hide that information from the public in regards to exactly how much they're spending. But what we do know, it seems as if Brandon Johnson, again, is using taxpayer dollars in order to try to get his buddies paid, right? His friends, okay, that support his campaign out in Chicago. This is, again, stereotypical corrupt Democrat stuff that goes on in these liberal cities. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Now to NBC5 investigates, which for months has followed the money trail tied to Chicago's migrant mission. Total spending now tops more than $400 million.
Now, despite the creation of a city spending website, it's still not exactly clear where all of that money has gone. In this follow-up report, investigative reporter Bennett Haberly uncovers some new information not shared by the city.
Consider these numbers. More than 6,000 people still live in city-run migrant shelters. That means costs are still adding up. Since August of 2022, the city of Chicago has spent more than $400 million, according to the city's spending website.
Wow.
Nearly $253 million went to one private company, Kansas-based Favored Healthcare Staffing, which staffs the shelters. Another $76 million went to Equitable Social Solutions.
Wow. $76 million to Equitable Social Solutions, right? Equitable Social Solutions. So again, I'm just saying, just by the name of this company, right? It sounds like it is a woke enterprise, okay? And again, you have Brandon Johnson funneling $76 million into a woke enterprise, and again, using the migrants, the illegal immigrants, in order to do so. Again, this is par for the course when it comes to how Democrats basically launder taxpayer dollars to their friends, okay? They try to justify it with wokeness and progressivism. Like, for example, Eric Adams, when he got backlash for the whole migrant credit card situation. She said, listen, you don't understand. A black-owned business, right? A tech company is doing this, okay? The business is black-owned, so therefore it must be okay. It must be totally fine. When, again, this is an operation to funnel money to his friends and people that he knows and the wealthy and politically connected in New York City, right? There's no doubt in my mind that this is what's happening in Chicago as well, too. This is a way to funnel money to people that Brandon Johnson knows is going to support him, okay? And what tends to happen when you have all of these large expenditures, tax expenditures, to try to solve a problem, a lot of times the problem doesn't actually really get solved because there's no incentive to, due to the fact that these companies know that, hey, we can get unlimited government money. I mean, just look what happened out there in California where they spent over $20 billion to fight homelessness, and homelessness actually went up. And one of the reasons why is because you had people that were receiving money, some of these companies receiving money, and they were taking those tax dollars and enriching themselves.
A company that converts motels into homeless housing is facing a major lawsuit, and now there are new explosive claims made against a former executive.
Inland Empire Bureau Chief Rob McMillan has details behind the lawsuit.
Project Homekey, a state effort to turn old hotels and motels into low-income housing for the homeless. Now, with many of those properties in foreclosure, the developer of those projects is suing their former CFO, Cody Holmes, accusing him of embezzling millions of dollars to fund an extravagant lifestyle for he and his ex-girlfriend, Madeline Witt.
Doctoring up signatures, creating documents, opening up fictitious accounts.
According to the lawsuit filed by attorney Brian Sun, Cody Holmes started out as an intern at Shangri-La Industries in 2014, rising to the role of CFO just 5 years later. The lawsuit alleges that, unbeknownst to his boss, he was siphoning away millions of dollars for the use of he and his ex-girlfriend, including the rent on this 6,500 square foot mansion in Beverly Hills.
The complaint alleges that he used significant portions of the funds he embezzled to purchase exotic cars, expensive real estate, expensive accessories such as very, very expensive handbags for his girlfriend, Birkin bags.
But while Shangri-La is the plaintiff in this lawsuit, they're the defendants in another lawsuit filed earlier this year by state housing authorities because of what happened. The whole situation leaving Project Homekey tenants in limbo.
They gave us notices on our doors saying that we might get evicted.
Residents at Project Homekey properties in Redlands and San Bernardino telling us last month they're worried they could be forced out and end up back on the streets, all because of greed.
That company partnered with another called ReloShare, which helped identify and sign lease agreements with property owners of the buildings that eventually became the migrant shelters.
That's where a number of those leases are.
But when we asked the city months ago for copies of these lease agreements, we were given just 9 out of 27. The use of these private companies has helped mask from public view where the public dollars have flowed. What we didn't know until now is how much the property owners of the migrant shelters were earning. But thanks to a new lawsuit, we're being provided some more clarity. A lending company filed this lawsuit last month against 2 Chicago developers, alleging they did not make it clear when they signed a loan agreement that the building in the West Loop would be used to house migrants. What is not in dispute is that the owners of the Ogden shelter are paid $150,000 a month by ReloShare as part of a use agreement. That means in a year's time, they'd receive more than $1.8 million.
Wow.
The lease agreement also calls for additional payments of up to $400,000 if the number of migrants inside the Ogden shelter exceeds 650.
Yeah, so basically the more illegals, the more they get paid, right? So the more illegals that they house, the more money that they get. Again, can you guys see the terrible incentive structure here, okay, for a company that's receiving government money to house illegals, right? How they can just basically run the table on the taxpayers, right, in regards to running up the bill. Yeah, that's what happens, right? That's exactly what happens. This is how, again, the powerful and connected end up getting rich due to government socialism, okay? And this is what they're doing with this so-called migrant crisis. Instead of deporting these people and, I don't know, making the airlines rich by, sending them back to whatever country they came from, right? No. We have to house them and feed them and spend hundreds of millions of taxpayer dollars in order to do so our buddies can get rich. Again, it's corruption. It really is. This is what's happening.
The latest figures show more than 700 people still live here.
If there are public dollars involved, shouldn't the public know where they flow?
100%.
Back in March, Alderman Andre Vasquez, the chair of the City Council's Migrant Committee, told us aldermen themselves have had a hard time accounting for all the spending.
That's still the question that's out there.
When we attempted to ask Mayor Brandon Johnson about this at the time, he said this.
Again, we're meeting you right where you are.
Were it not for this new lawsuit, the public would have no idea how much these property owners are earning.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you.
We pressed the mayor about this last week and asked if he would consider adding the information to the city's website. He said this.
We have given an accurate account of how dollars have been spent.
That's it? Is there anything that would preclude your administration from sharing that level of detail?
There's no information that has been kept from you.
Johnson then reiterated.
Wow. Gaslighting. Lying right to your face. The news, journalists, they come to you and say, hey, listen, because of this lawsuit, we have information that's not on the website. The whole purpose of the website is supposed to be transparency so that people can see how taxpayer dollars are being spent on people who are not American citizens, right? But you're not including this information. Are you going to put the information on the website that we now have? Everything is on the website, right? We didn't exclude anything from the website. Yeah, but this information that we just got, because this lawsuit, is not on the website. But again, according to Brandon Johnson, no, you're mistaken, right? It is on the website. Everything is on the website, okay? There's nothing that we left off, even though they clearly are hiding stuff. Again, it's crazy, man. I don't understand how people vote for this. I really don't. These people lie to your face. They gaslight. They pretend that up is down and down is up. Okay? I mean, and they just do this right in front of your face and they expect you just to go along with it. And if you disagree with it, then you're a bigot.
Talking points he's made before, how he's renegotiated contracts to save taxpayer money, and how Congress has failed to provide additional financial relief. He also doubled down, incorrectly stating that all spending information is available.
That information is available to you, sir.
Not all of it, though, is, sir. I mean, that's the point.
Can you give me a specific example of what's not available?
The Ogden shelter in the West Loop, that's what is spelled out in this lawsuit, that they get $150,000 just for being the property owner per month. Nowhere is that available on the city's spending website. My question, again, is simply, is there anything that would preclude you from including that level of detail? You guys have said you're transparent. Why not show it?
All of the information related to this spending to this mission is available.
That's where we left it. We have checked over and over again to see if additional information was added to the city's website. If it is, we'll let you know. Bennett Haberly, NBC5 investigates.
I can't right now, bro. Like, I just can't. I just cannot believe this, man. I cannot believe that people voted for this. Wow. That journalist just confronted him with an example. Here is what you left off. Oh, well, all of that stuff is up there, right? Everything is up there. He didn't say, listen, we'll look into it, and whatever information is not included, we'll put it up there, right? That would have been a reasonable answer, right? We'll look into it, okay? And then we're going to see, what information we need to put on the website to be more transparent, right? No. He didn't do that. He just went straight for the gaslight. Nah, it is up there, right? Everything is up there, okay? All the information. Wow. Again, this corruption is right in front of your face, man. But hey, they have a recall effort out in Chicago. Now, it's going to take a long time for it to actually go anywhere, but let's see what happens, okay? Because this guy is as corrupt as they come, okay? And he poses as some type of freedom fighter, right? Like, he's fighting for racial equality and all this other nonsense, when he's really just fighting for himself, right? He's enriching himself, teachers' unions, and all of the rest of his woke colleagues. I think the most offensive part about this, outside of just the gaslighting, is that he's trying to federalize this, right? He's begging the federal government to spend federal taxpayer dollars helping house illegals, right? To build resettlement camps for illegal immigrants, okay, when we should be deporting them, okay? So, again, he's trying to federalize this. He wants everybody, right? He wants all of us to pay for Chicago's mess and their money laundering to Brandon Johnson's woke rich friend. So, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.